What is up, my dudes and chicks? Thank you guys so much for watching. Library Jesus here, bringing you a very special video today. Special because we're playing a game very near and dear to my heart, Monster Rancher 2 on PlayStation 1. Such a classic game. So I had to dust off my PS1 to play this game. Because of the way the mechanics work, it requires using, different discs, whether it's CDs, DVDs, anything like that, to generate monsters from it. So a lot of people think this is a Pokemon clone. It's not. It's not a clone in the sense of like Mewtwo is a clone of Mew made from its DNA. More of like a Bizarro version of Pokemon where it looks similar at first, but then you start to see all the differences. The main one being generating monsters from random discs, which is just so legit. So yeah, it kind of explains here in the story, monsters once, just ruled the earth, and then they eventually were sealed into disc stones, and that's how we're reviving them. So, Monster Rancher is one of those games that I'll go through a period of time where I don't play it for weeks, months, maybe even years, but then I get hit with the Monster Rancher bug, and I just have to play the game and just dive right into it and get so into it again. Well, currently I'm going through one of those times, so I thought I would show you guys. So if you guys are familiar with Monster Rancher, this is going to be a nostalgia trip for you. If you're not familiar with it, it could serve as an introduction to a game series that you may come to enjoy just as much as I do. So, if you guys enjoy the video, and I so hope you do, leave a thumbs up, comment, let me know if you want more Monster Rancher content, and subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified whenever I'm uploading videos. Let's freaking do this, guys. So as you can see, the general idea of this game, generate monsters, raise them, battle them, very similar to Pokemon, but once we get into it, you'll see just how different it can actually be. So yeah, we're essentially going to hop in, it's going to introduce us as a new breeder, then we're going to get our monster, I'll show you guys kind of how raising them works, and then we'll get into a battle, and that should be good for an introduction. And like I said, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see some more Monster Rancher content, I would be super happy to oblige. Now, Monster Rancher 2, I will say right off the bat, the reason I chose this game, honestly, it's every Monster Rancher fan's favorite, and it's not so much a favorite in like a cliche, like, oh, you like Monster Rancher? I bet 2 is your favorite, right? It's just kind of factual that Monster Rancher 2 is the best in the series. Monster Rancher 4 might be my second favorite, but there's still some ways in which Monster Rancher 4 kind of falls short compared to 2. So, let's freaking do this, guys. Starting a new game. Yeah, I haven't played Monster Rancher 2, or really any of the Monster Rancher games, in about... honestly, it may even be like 3 years, possibly even 4 years. Maybe a little bit here and there, but I haven't just like dived into it. Alright, so yeah, we're at the Monster Association now, and they're going to be, introducing us as a new breeder. So we're going to go ahead and pick our name, Jesus. And... oh, wait, not that one. Circle. There we go. Yes, we are ready. We are ready. Yep, you will be a new trainer, right? We're going to have you take the trainer type test. Please answer these questions. Now, these questions, guys, I don't think they have any kind of bearing on the way that the game is played. Like, I don't know why they do this. All I know is, like, in Monster Rancher Battle Card, the answers that you give in the beginning actually determine which kind of deck they give you to start out with. But in this game, honestly don't know. Any of you Monster Rancher fans out there that do know if it has any kind of changes to the game, let me know in the comments. Alright, here we go. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and cannot go back to sleep. Yes, happens pretty often. I'm the type of person who saves his favorite food until last. Definitely that kind of person. Don't know why. Don't know why. Good to know I'm not the only one, otherwise they wouldn't have asked a question like this. When I'm ordered to do something I like, I'm confused. I wouldn't say confused, maybe just happy. If someone does something displeasing, I should not behave the same way. Obviously, if someone jumps off a bridge, guys, don't do it. I have a valuable friend whom I never betray. Yes. If I have to choose, I like spring better than winter. Gonna go with a big yes on this one. I actually used to prefer cold weather, not anymore. When I see people who are in need, I can't ignore them. Yes. I have never lied in my entire life. No, if I said yes, that would be a lie. What a trick question. In order to truly succeed, sometimes I need to make a risky choice. Gotta risk it sometimes, guys. In a battle, what counts in the end is mental power. Yes, firm believer in mind over matter. And that's all. Thank you very much. Please wait here for a while. Now, I think the questions actually changed up because I could have sworn, do you believe in aliens was one of the questions. Hello, Jesus. Thank you for waiting. I was explaining the type of trainer you are to the trainer assistant. Coltia, ayy. In every Monster Rancher game, you get a different assistant. Colt, I like her. I like her. Holly's probably my favorite, but I like Colt. She's the trainer assistant who is going to take your place. Or is going to your place, not take your place. Sorry. She is still a bit childish, but she sure is a good girl. Here she is, Coltia. How do you do, Jesus? I'm Coltia. Please call me Colt. You're gonna work with her for quite some time, so please try to get along with each other. Do your best to raise a monster well, so that it can win the Major 4. Now, just like in Pokemon, with the Elite Four, the Major 4 is like the final goal for the Monster Rancher game. Like, essentially, once you beat them, you kind of beat the game. Although I don't think they even roll credits or anything, like in a typical RPG. I'm looking forward to your performance. Yes, sir. Well, Jesus, let's do our best. First, you should obtain a monster at the market in the town, or at the shrine, by reproducing it from a disc stone or a slate, and then take it to the ranch with you. Well, Coltia, good luck. So with the disc stone versus the slate. The slate is whenever you've already unlocked a monster with a disc, you can actually go back and just, revive one that you've already unlocked before. So today I have 2 discs to try, and I told myself I was only going to pick from 2 because I could honestly spend hours. That's one of the funnest things about Monster Rancher, though. Spend hours going throughout your house finding CDs, DVDs, old video games. I say old video games because some of the newer ones won't actually read, because this is a game from let me actually check on that, guys. It's from 1999. Wow. Did you see that information there? I'm still a rookie here. And Jesus, you too have just become a trainer, right? Is there anything you would like to ask about? Nope. Oops. Yeah, so this came out in a time when Pokemon only had 150, like the original 151 with Mew. And Monster Rancher 2, I believe, has 408 monsters. Now, the reason that is, as you'll see, there are main breeds of monsters, and they can all have sub-breeds. For example, there is a monster called Tiger, which is my favorite. He's kind of like a wolf. I know it's confusing, tiger, wolf. It comes from the Japanese name Raiga, which I guess is supposed to be like a liger. It's pretty much my favorite animal. But you can have like the tiger, but a sub-breed dragon, so it's like a wolf with dragon scales, and vice versa. You could have a dragon with like the same fur design as Tiger, which is like blue and white, and he'll have horns like Tiger does. It's so dope. It's essentially monster fusions. Then let's go find our monster. This is just such a good part about Monster Rancher, and that's just what makes it so much more unique than Pokemon. Like, in Pokemon, you go out and catch your monsters. Now you're literally reviving them from discs that were just sitting around your house normally, and you can turn them into monsters. Some monsters can actually only be obtained through special discs, so that can be kind of intimidating because it means you have to go out and buy the disc or something like that. But yeah, you can just work with what you got though. There's also a lot of rare monsters you can get in the game that don't require the discs necessarily. What's your name? My name is Colt. This is Jesus, a trainer. I am Michelle, a priestess of the shrine. We reproduce monsters using disc stones, CD, and slates, backup data of Monster Rancher. Yeah, you can actually send over your monsters from Monster Rancher 1 to this game as well. So let's do disc stone. Alright, so the disc that I have chosen for you guys today, and I know I've used this one before, but I cannot remember what it actually turned out to be. It was years ago. Digimon World for PlayStation 1, one of my other favorite PS1 games, and early 4-track recordings of Montreal, one of my all-time favorite bands. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Digimon. So as you can see, it wants us to insert the CD, it's gonna read it, then we put back in Monster Rancher 2, it'll read that, and then bam, the monster will be born. It's such an interesting mechanic for a game. I mean, seriously. Reading. This part takes very, very quick. Thankfully, it's not a long process. Alright, and now we get to see what the monster is. I will say there's some monsters that it says that you have to be a certain rank to get. So some monsters we may not be able to get right off the bat, but hopefully we can revive these two. Apparently it didn't like the way I inserted it the first time, so I'm gonna try again. Still not right. Okay, I actually went and got this disc clean, so it should work momentarily, guys. Okay, and we are actually back on a PlayStation 2 right now. For some reason I couldn't get my PS1 to read the disc after we had reinserted it, so can you guys tell we're on a PlayStation 2 right now? Anyway, our monster is now being born. Let's see what we got from Digimon World. If you guys haven't played Digimon World, my favorite Digimon game ever. Classic, just so classic. Here it is, guys. Is this your first time seeing a monster being born in Monster Rancher? If so, that is so exciting. Okay, we got, this is a cat, the monster's main name is Kato, with a Mochi sub-monster. Honestly, not a big fan. He is extremely weird looking. Hopefully we get a better one from Montreal. Even Shile here is like, curious looking monster. Do you want to take this monster to your ranch? No. But yeah, you can actually see its stats right there too, so you can kind of see if it's the monster you're looking for. And I'll get more into the stats when we get into the training aspect. So, going to Distone again. We inserted the early 4-track recordings by Montreal. Reading the data, reinsert. And now we get to see what our second monster is. Let's freaking do this, guys. Here's the big moment. Yeah, I'm glad we can use both of these, because sometimes they will say your monster level, or your breeder level isn't high enough to raise this monster. That's when you know you're getting a good one, so save that CD for later in the game whenever you complete more tournaments, then get it. Okay, this is the tiger I was telling you about, but with a Golem subbreed. This is actually really dope. Golem was one of those mods I wasn't too into back when I originally started playing this game, but just so full of power, so full of defense, and when combined with the fast mod like this, like look at these stats. His life is a little bit low, but we can raise up the life. Power is okay. Intelligence. So it's essentially, think of power as attack and intelligence as special attack, if you guys are, more into Pokemon. Skill, that's actually going to be accuracy. Speed is going to be your evasion. It's kind of weird. In the Japanese version, it actually is like evasion, and skill is accuracy, but for some reason they changed it up. And then, of course, defense, pretty standard there. But yeah, 100% going with this one. This is actually a very good pick, guys. I'm excited we got this one. Let's see, you get to name it, of course. What do we name it? Now, with Monster Rancher, I will say a lot of, the breeds, they don't really go by, their main names. Most people are going to nickname their monsters. It's not like Pokemon, oh, I'll just keep it whatever. They're going to nickname it. Let's see, we're going to go with... Tempted just to go with Rocky, just such a classic, especially after watching the Rocky movies lately. In fact, I'm going to do that. It's so cliche, but like I said, I watched all of the Rocky movies for the first time recently. Well, I say all of them. I don't think I saw, the latest one, but we're going to go with it. Rocky. Ayo, Adrian. Alright, so register the name, and then we can go back to the ranch, and I can show you guys how the ranch works. Exciting stuff. Let's do our best to raise Rocky. You got it, Colt. Alright, so when on the ranch, I'm pretty sure she'll do a little bit of explanation. If not, we can just hop right into it. Alright, which food do you want to give it this month? Okay, so, yeah, a lot of explaining here to do. Alright, so there are a couple different options for food. In the original Monster Rancher, it's literally, I think it's potatoes, fish, or meat. A lot more options in this one. We have potatoes, we have milk, we have fish, we have cup jelly. Cup jelly is interesting. Meat, tablet, potato. Oh, it's going right back. But yeah, the cup jelly, gelatinous monster, or this gelatinous food is for busy monsters. Cup jelly, whenever you feed it to your monster, there's a chance that you can get a diamond on the lid, and if you get enough diamonds, you get like a special prize or something like that. There's also the monster worm, just one of those like hidden things that you only know about if you look up guides online of other people finding it. I don't think there's actually a physical guide for this game. There's so many mysteries to Monster Rancher. If you feed Worm enough of these, like only these, and train him specifically, he'll literally evolve into a Beaklon, which is like a giant beetle monster, one of my all-time favorites. Not many evolutions in Monster Rancher, that actually might be the only one. Just such an interesting game. But whenever you start raiding a monster intended for baby monsters, anytime you start, it's pretty standard to go with milk. It's very cheap. Baby monsters like it. But when it gets older, obviously you gotta change it up. And you'll be able to tell just by your monster's reaction whether they like or dislike certain foods. Oh, Colt, long time no see. Master Pabs, nice to see you. Jesus, this is Master Pabs. Jesus, I am Pabs. Nice to see you. He was the greatest trainer. Stop it, Colt. Jesus, keep up the good work with Colt. I have to go now. I have an appointment. My darn arthritis. Master Pabs used to be the #1 trainer among IMA. I think that's like the International Monster Association. Pretty sure. I know he doesn't look it like that. Hey, easy. He looks like he could be like a Master Roshi type monster breeder. Alright, so the way Monster Rancher is going to work, let's see, when we go to training, go to drill. So there's multiple different drills we can go to right here. Let me go ahead and move down. Alright, so you can also see in the top left, they go by weeks in Monster Rancher. Every time you do training, every time you do a tournament, every time you let them rest, it's going to be for a full week. So as you can see, we're starting out the first week of April in the year 1000. I know, kind of weird, you'll get used to it, but yeah, after you play this game enough, it'll be like you've passed 84 years. Nobody's aged, anything like that, other than your monsters. A little weird, you have to have the willful suspension of disbelief here, guys. But anyway, you have a lot of different trainings to do, depending on what you're trying to raise your monster to do. And it's not like, since we have low life, we might raise life a little bit, but it's not like that you want to raise the stats that your monster is not good at. You generally want to raise the stats that your monster is good at. So if you remember, we had pretty good speed and skill. I think mostly the speed. You can actually look at your monster here. So yeah, speed and intelligence. Tigers are going to be more intelligent mons, meaning they use more attacks that are like special attacks, like lightning, ice. That's part of what makes them so dope. You can also see that there's trainings that increase stats a lot, including multiple stats, but also decrease stats. And they make them more fatigued. That's what the FTG means. A lot to think about whenever you're training your monsters. And generally in the beginning when they're babies, you want to go for the ones that won't fatigue them that much. So we're going to go with study, the typical intelligence boosting training. Begin the drill. You're going to have little animations. Some of them are pretty funny. I think some of them actually change up a little bit depending on the monster you have as well. Pretty dope. And that little toucan there, I forget the name of the toucan actually, but she helps a lot with the training, and that's who gives the food every month. One of those very, very important side characters. Okay, so Rocky as well. Yeah, you'll get the status update on him at the beginning of every week just to let you know when he needs to rest and when he doesn't. Also, there are items when you go to the shop. Some items reduce stress if your monster is stressed out, and some reduce fatigue, so you can actually give them the fatigue reducing items intermittently, like before your trainings, and you can actually train them longer where they won't need rest as much. But they do cost money, so you only want to use those when you have the means to satisfy that. So let's go in with the speed training now, so you guys can kind of see a little bit of differences. As you can see, he didn't like that, and it's either because he's still a baby, he doesn't like training in speed in general, or because he's already feeling a little fatigued, even though it said that he was well. And as you can see, he did miss that. So it is possible that they can miss their trainings as well. Alright, move back up here. So we didn't finish the drill here. Do you want to scold it? You kind of want to a little bit in the beginning, maybe, but not too much. It'll actually show you, if you look, what your training style is, whether you're being too strict or too lenient. He still seems well, but as a baby, we still might want to keep him well rested. Really, it's up to you how you train your monsters. There's like perfect methods, but if you're just doing a casual playthrough, I mean, you don't have to put too much into it. I tend to like maybe school my monster a little bit in the beginning of the game, but over time, I tend to become more lenient. So you can see now he is very well. We'll do another intelligence training. Let's begin. So they're also going to do better in the trainings that they're good at, and you'll notice that over time. If you try to do trainings that they're not good at, they won't do so well at all. It's also possible that they can do great on their training, and that'll increase their stats even more, and it'll give you an option to praise them just for doing great. Alright, it's the next month, so we're going to feed them. Like I said, baby monster still, so we'll go with milk. Now, Colt should give you updates on how it's being, or how it's growing. It might say, this is an important time for our monster, he isn't a baby anymore, something along those lines. So then you know that you can kind of change up the way that you're training him. Rocky is well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go into battle. Generally, I wouldn't go into battle just yet. I'm going to wait for our monster to get a little bit stronger. But, just for the sake of the video so you guys can see how the battles work, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I did notice, however, yeah, it said that we can't do a tournament until 2 weeks from now. That'll give me a chance to talk about the schedule with you guys in a second, too. But we're going to go ahead and try another one of these trainings. Ooh, dodge at the last second there. Nice one, Rocky. Alright, went up 2. So we're going to rest this week, and then next week take on the tournament. So I can't remember if it's in this game or not, or if it's in the Monster Rancher Advance games, but you can actually schedule tournaments to where she'll remind you, okay, this is the tournament that you were going to enter today. If not, then yeah, you're going to have to remember on your own. So we'll go down to battle. And then Blue Sky Cup. Rocky is little loyalty now and may do foolery. Foolery is whenever, yeah, if you haven't raised it enough, you'll tell it to do a move and it won't do it. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, this is just an intro for you guys, so we're just going to go right in. Not expecting to do great, but hey, it's possible. I believe in Rocky. Even in the movies, Rocky was an underdog, so we have an underdog here. Or under wolf. We have a winter chill here in the Pappas Arena. Under this circumstance, Blue Sky Cup is now beginning. Yeah, lots of different tournaments over the course of the game, and you get different items for each of them. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I could go into a lot of detail over all the items you can get in the game, but yeah, we'll save that for another time. Yeah, do you want to give Rocky advice? There's also the option of letting your monster just do what it do, and it'll fight on its own, but I hardly ever do that. I always want to go in and tell him the commands myself. Now, also, every monster does have its own, its own artwork up there. As you can see, ours, he's looking pretty dope. The one on the right is a tiger hare mix. Hare is like a rabbit that stands on 2 feet, and he's pretty dope. He's pretty dope. So it'll show the comparison of stats as well. As you can see, we're a lot better than him, so we should be able to win. Now here's the battle, guys. You're going to be moving left and right. Different attacks have different ranges. So you want to move left and right until you get within range. Each attack is going to have a cost called Guts. As you can see, ours is going up. It's at 75 right now. It'll also show your accuracy for each attack before you attack. So some moves are going to have higher accuracy than others, and it's going to have, higher or lower accuracy depending on your opponent's speed and your accuracy. So, very important to pay attention to accuracy. Also, he just did foolery. When they do foolery and when you do foolery, it gives your opponent a huge advantage as far as accuracy. But hey, we won. Now, the only way to get newer moves, if you saw whenever we went to training, it gave us the option of drill or errantry. Errantry can cost a lot of money, but they do have discounts certain days of the month, or certain weeks of the month. and whenever you send them in, they get a lot of boosted stats, and if they do really well in the errand tree, they can learn new moves. Also, when you combine monsters, they can pass on some of those new moves as well. So very important to raise up monsters very strong, combine them, raise that monster really strong when it gets low, near the end of its life. Because monsters, I should have probably mentioned that, monsters die in this game. Over time, they will die. But before they die, you can combine them, and all of their stats and some of their moves will be passed on to the next generation. Alright, we're both doing foolery here. Yeah, this is a Gabu. This always makes me think of Shiny Geodude. Or I guess Shiny Geodude makes me think of Gabu. Alright, he's gonna be very strong. I think his accuracy is probably low though. Yeah, every monster is gonna have its strengths and weaknesses 100%. Sometimes those weaknesses are very apparent. Maybe it's a super fast monster that does literally no damage, so its whole strategy is avoiding opponents' attacks and just doing the littlest amount of damage possible. Because we did get a knockout in the last battle, but most battles are just going to be determined on who has the least amount of health left. Honestly, at this point, just for the sake of our monster, we probably want to give up, because if you get knocked out in a tournament, or in any battle, you can actually have your monster get injured and sent to the hospital for weeks. That also decreases its lifespan, so we're gonna give up. Oakley Man has already lost a match, and this is round robin, so if we can beat Harry Kicks here, I think we can still win the tournament. Now Harry Kicks looks like he's gonna be a Dino with, I think a Dino or a Zoom. They call them Zooms. Dinos in the show. Zoom with Suezo. So yeah, he's nice and yellow. Suezo is like the unofficial mascot of Monster Rancher. They want to say Mochi is, but I think Suezo is. He's just a giant eyeball. If you've seen anything with Monster Rancher before, you've seen Suezo. Pretty strong mons to have as well. Alright, we're just gonna go in hard. All of our attacks have less... They don't have many guts, so... we could just avoid some of his attacks too, but he's getting some pretty good hits on us. Very evasive as well. I think Zooms are actually recommended. Yeah, we're gonna have to give up on this one. I think Zooms are one of those monsters that's actually recommended for kind of beginners. Alright, gonna go ahead and give up this one. But I wanted to show you guys how the battles work, so... we may have lost, but like I said, typically we would just go ahead and raise up our monster a lot to where its loyalty is higher as well, and its stats are a lot higher. And coming into these first tournaments, we would just freaking wreck the competition. Alright, so we might get... I think we're going to get third place. Our fame still might go up a little bit, and we might get somewhat of a reward, but probably not much. Yeah, we got rank 3. Well, we got 300 gold. That's something. And no change in its fame. Makes sense. We only got third place. Once you get first or second, though, you'll definitely get an increase in fame. And then we're heading back to the ranch. And I think that'll probably be a good place to end. I'm going to see if... oh, we're actually gaining some stats from the tournament. Ooh, boosted intelligence and power, and a little bit of speed. Good, good. I think he did a good job. He did do a good job. We're going to praise him. We went a little bit too early. We were hard on the guy. Seems tired. So yeah, we'd let him rest. Really? I mean, I can go to the shop real quick just to show you guys the item options. Alright, yeah, we talked with the shop owner. Yep, explaining that we're new to the game, never heard the name. Yeah, we're very new. We're very new. Alright, and man, this is a lot of dialogue, jeez. What are you gonna do? Buy. We're gonna buy. Okay, so yeah, we have mango. This is essentially just a snack, more of a reward. Candy's going to... I believe candy can increase your monster's weight. Monsters can actually be overweight or underweight. Or maybe it's just more like fat or skinny. but when they're fat, they actually have more defense. They just have lower speed, I believe, and whenever they're skinny, they have lower defense, but they have higher speed. I actually didn't know that until somewhat, I think it was like the last time I played, I figured that out. I was like, huh, go figure. Yeah, Smoked Snake, that's going to be for discipline. Apple Cake, I believe this is also just a reward. You might be able to make your monster a little heavier with that as well. Mint Leaf, this is for reducing stress. This is a very important item. Powder, feed it to overweight monsters, that's to lose weight. Sweet Jelly, I think it's just another treat. I never give them Sweet Jelly. Makes your monsters braise. Yeah, I don't know about the Sour Jelly either. Nuts Oil is probably, arguably the most important item in the game. This reduces fatigue. If you give it to your monster at the beginning of the week before training, you can get a lot more training in before it gets tired, and it'll help it, in the long run, increase its lifespan. Star Prune, this increases fame. Not sure how eating a fruit increases your fame. How are people even aware that you're eating this fruit? And then we go back to Mango here. So guys, that is my little introduction to the Monster Rancher series. So, like I said, if you guys already know Monster Rancher, this was just a nostalgia trip. If you guys are new, hopefully you know a little bit more about it now, and hopefully you're excited to get into it yourself and go ahead and try out some of the games. There may not be a ton of games to try out, but there's a lot that you can get your hands on. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see some more content, and let me know in the comments if you specifically want to see more Monster Rancher content. Like I said, I'd be happy to oblige. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Library Jesus, out.